when I put my mind to something, I normally come through and deal with it. It's like the ultimate dream. And I've developed a real love for it. And that's what this is now. It's not just like a hobby or a project. It's a love, it's an obsession. This is the real deal, and we need to send a message, and it's up to you lot to decide what message you want to send. I can't really say no more, you just got to go out and do the business now. So do it for every single one of your teammates, and then do it for yourself. Go out there and fucking get the victory, and then we can fucking celebrate. All right? Come on, come on, come on! Come on! How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. We are back again for another week, and I hope every single one of you have had a good weekend. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about coronavirus, as we always are, because a third player at Brighton has tested positive. Also, Dynamo Dresden in Germany, they've had to send their whole entire squad into quarantine for 14 days. Due to two players testing positive for coronavirus. And the last piece of news involves Ighalo at Manchester United, because they may well be struggling to keep hold of him. I represent my fucking self. How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is the news that broke over the course of the weekend, and it was about Brighton, and a third player has been tested positive for coronavirus, and it just raises those questions even more about why it's not safe to start football right now, and why I've been arguing all along. A third Brighton player has tested positive for coronavirus. Chief Executive Paul Barber has confirmed. It was confirmed in March that a Brighton player had tested positive after 3 members of the squad had shown symptoms. Speaking to Sky Sports News, Barber confirmed a third member of the first team group has produced a positive test despite the guidelines being in place. It is a concern, he said. Unfortunately, we have had a third player test positive over the weekend. So despite all the measures that we have been taking over the past few weeks, where the players haven't been involved in any significant training at all, we've still suffered another player testing positive for the virus. So there are concerns, and I think it's normal for a club to have those concerns. We want to make sure we do everything that we can to ensure those protocols are in place and safe and secure, and mitigate the risk as far as we can. So yeah, look, that's not great news. And the Premier League are going to be having a meeting today, and it's this whole project restart, the neutral venues that seem to be a problem. Brighton were one of those that didn't want to play at a neutral venue. But look, even with all of these measures in place and players, social distancing and staying at home and everything else, someone still contracted it. So, is this a case of where they're just going to the shop? Is it a family member that goes to the shop and has brought it home? How on earth are you expecting to guide this? This is my argument. This is why I got so angry on the podcast with Robbie last week, because he just doesn't listen. And these are the reasons why I've got these concerns. You're talking about football coming back in about 3 weeks' time in the UK. Are you mad? Over 30,000 deaths. Have you seen the way that people have been carrying on over the course of the weekend? Going down parks and just having a jolly up. Like, there isn't even a lockdown. We're going to go through another spike again in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Just you watch and see. And it's because of people like that. We can't be getting football back. I'm sorry, but footballers are not critical workers. They're not a necessity. It's as simple as that. The NHS, the police force, the fire brigade, they're all essential workers. Footballers are not essential workers. It would be lovely to have football again in this country. It'd be so nice to watch Arsenal play again. I would love it. But not while it's, like it is. While it ain't safe. Come on, man. Think about it. Seriously. I really don't know what's going to happen with this meeting. It'd be very interesting to report tomorrow as to what actually happens and what gets said. Next piece of news goes over to the Bundesliga, and of course they are starting football again next week. But Dynamo Dresden, they are not, because 2 players have tested positive for coronavirus, putting on hold the club's planned return to Bundesliga 2 next weekend. Dresden were due to play Hanover away on May the 17th when the league resumes after a 2-month suspension, but the entire squad, coaching and supervisory staff must go into 14 days of quarantine at home. We are in contact with the responsible health authorities and the league to coordinate all further steps, Dynamo sporting director says. The fact is that we can neither train nor participate in any games over the next 14 days. The players who have not been identified had their positive results for COVID-19 found in a 3rd wave of tests conducted at the club on Friday as part of the league's hygiene protocol to get football back underway in Germany. 1 player tested positive for COVID-19 in the 1st wave of tests last weekend. He has been in quarantine since May the 3rd. There were no positive cases in the 2nd wave on May the 4th. The team returned to full training on Thursday, and then we go and have another test that's positive. So that's not great news. And how on earth are they going to do this? This was my argument if football starts again. If someone contracts it and that whole team have to go into quarantine for 14 days, what happens then? The knock-on effects. They're going to be behind with games. Let's just say that another team in Bundesliga 2 or even the main Bundesliga, picks up the coronavirus. It's going to be a never-ending cycle. And I've got to understand that, this is going to be like this for a considerable period of time until we find a vaccine. But it's about lessening the blow. And this is still happening in Germany when things are a lot more under control than what they are in the UK. The deaths, the contracted rate and everything else is so much more lower than in the UK. And you want to get football on in the UK in about 3 weeks time or so, and it's simply because of money. Come on, wake up and smell the coffee. You can tell, what it's about. It's not about the integrity of the game or anything else. It's about money. End of story. I'm bored with it, man. Wish people would wake up and just see what is really going on in front of them. Last piece of news involves Ighalo, because of course he's been on loan at Manchester United. And Shanghai Shenhua expect Ighalo to return from his loan spell at Manchester United in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season, which is scheduled to begin in July. Manchester United are keen to extend his loan to cover the end of the Premier League season, the date of which remains unclear amid the coronavirus pandemic. As it stands, Shanghai Shenhua will only allow Ighalo to remain at Old Trafford if on a permanent deal, and the Chinese club value him upwards of £20 million. It is thought Newcastle United would be interested in Ighalo if their proposed takeover is completed this summer. So that's an interesting one. Obviously, Ighalo wants to stay at Manchester United. But with the Chinese Super League starting in July, because it's a lot different in terms of their schedule and everything else, they want their player back. And he's only on loan. He's a player to them and they want him for the start of the season. And they don't want to lose him for the start of the season. Continue a loan to finish off the remaining part of this season or whatever the hell is going to happen. And this was one of my arguments as well as why we can't go past the June time. Because, you've got players running out of their contracts. You've got players that, loan spells are coming to an end. What if one league's starting, one's not? There's this. Oh, mate, it's just giving me a headache even thinking about how this is all going to work itself out. But yeah, look, listen, we'll wait and see. And if Manchester United want Ighalo, they're going to have to pay the money. And but yeah, if Manchester United want Ighalo, they're going to have to pay the money. And that's over £20 million. So remains to be seen whether they will pay that or not. And interesting, if Newcastle come in. because they're going to have a load of money that they're not really too worried about. So could they actually pip Manchester United to Ighalo's signature? That'd be an interesting one. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. Let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. The German Bundesliga 2, the Premier League, and of course Ighalo. So if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot tomorrow. I'm out of here.